What's happening, gamers? Welcome back to Twilight Princess in HD.
Yay!
I hope you enjoyed our rousing discussion as we tried to keep our water sanity.
Stay in school, kids.
Yeah.
Only if you have to.
A summary, stay in school, graduate early. So the water temple does things to men's minds, and part of the reason
it's poisoned our minds.
Yeah. Part of the reason is there's a lot of backtracking involved. You have to flood areas to go in and search for secrets, and
I think we've been in the water temple for like 1,000 years.
This is our 4th episode, I believe now. Yeah.
I wonder if it would be amazing if there was like a spell where you were trapped in the water temple forever, and Link was trapped in there for like 1,000 years and he didn't know it.
See, there'd be no way he could open that under the water.
Yeah.
Especially without a handle.
Yeah.
That's my big problem. I know.
It bugs me that there are no handles on the doors, but I mean, I guess he was just people back then were just better than us. They're more hardcore.
They're also,
all these calluses.
People back then were really strong too.
Yeah.
Like,
well, if you think
ever
about
tried to pick up a broadsword? Like, they're really heavy.
Well, I mean, they probably had to train harder because there was more stuff going on.
I still believe people were stronger back then.
Oh yeah, I certainly do. They've even found like skeletons of people that are like way more dense than us.
Not
it's like
dense.
they're just like like the bones are
yeah. I know.
Yeah,
I was making a stupid joke.
But like also like the ozone layer is depleted all the time, and there's all this radiation coming in,
Yeah, but the radiation seems to help Superman. Not so much the rest of Earth.
Yeah, the only person that the radiation helps is Superman. So
how are we supposed to get up there?
Everyone should carry a parasol when they go outside, all the time.
It could be like the Penguin.
Yeah.
You could be one of the cool kids.
I really wish I could wear a parasol, because, girls used to have parasols all the time. And I just feel like I would be awkward if I was
talking
wearing
about, like, the 1800s? Something like that?
Well, yeah, like, all the time, no, forever. Since the beginning of time, people had parasols. No, I'm talking about
why can't I latch onto that? It's wood!
Such a great idea, and they have lace, and they're pretty. Like, why do girls not have parasols now?
Hang on.
If I wore a parasol when we were out...
Stop with the parasols for a second, let me think!
Would you be embarrassed of me if I had one?
Yes. I'd be like, you are not Michael Jackson. We have to find a way to blow up that opening so we can go and get the treasure. Now, why... This is what I don't understand. You can use the hook shot to grab onto other treasure chests, but that treasure chest isn't gonna let you do it. It's being stubborn, so it's gonna make you go all the way back to where you are, find that one place to blow up, and then you're just gonna end up back in that place anyway.
Yeah.
And it's stupid. It's stupid. It's just, this is why. Cursed. I've given a name to my pain, and it is water dungeons.
You know what I think is lame about the world today? That we've already mapped, like, basically all of it.
See, that chest, if we used our claw on, we would actually be grappled to it.
Yeah.
But this one? No. A big, dark one, it's like, nope. I'm too cool.
The water temple's definitely getting to me. I'm just like, I don't know.
You're like, when will it end? I was hoping this episode would be the one where we would finally get to the boss, but I don't want to tell you, because then I would end up telling other people. I don't remember how to get...
No.
I know I have to bomb something, but I don't remember how to... where it's at on the map. See, honesty is important in every relationship. My problem is I'm too honest. So.
Thanks for telling me that.
You're welcome.
Luke, if we don't get to the end of the water temple in this episode, honestly, I just am being honest with you, I will destroy you.
What? But I'm about...
I will sick tink on you.
This is such a long dungeon. We gotta do the carousel thing again. You love carousels, though.
I do.
You do enjoy them. I mean, there's no horsies,
it's
but...
like the worst. If they add some ponies on here, it would be better.
See, this is nice, right? This is...
Well,
good.
that must give Link such a workout for his arm right there. I mean, if you really thought about it, man, Link must be totally muscular for everything he does.
He was a stable boy.
And also,
like the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yeah.
Oh. No!
Think about it though, I never understood why Mario is a little bit pudgy when he like basically jumps around all the time.
It's all the Italian food.
He's saving princesses. He's like doing so much of a workout. It would really bother me if I was doing that much work and I looked like Mario.
Well, I mean, you could think that, you know,
It
all
might
the...
just be all the Italian
I
food.
actually, I have a theory. The reason why he is so plump is due to head trauma and brain leakage, because he's always constantly smashing his head on bricks. And
Why would that help affect your weight though?
How would it be? Because he's leaking.
Okay, this is getting like too 21 plus now.
How is that 21 plus?
Ew.
That's just a fact.
We'll just do head trauma.
Head trauma.
We'll say that. And
Slight bloating.
yeah. No, I feel really bad now.
It's me, Concussion Man.
No.
Yahoo! I'm gonna hit some bricks. 1, oh, 1, oh, 0.
You're so
Yahoo!
dark. Well, this is Twilight Princess. It's dark.
It's a dark game. What do you want from me?
Apparently, I know. We're supposed to talk about bright and happy things when we're playing Twilight.
Care Bears, prepare to stare
Care
with
Bears
happy
stare.
friendship. Oh no. It's moving.
Yeah, I mean, I do.
Yay!
I think, like, I never see Link repeatedly bashing his head on a rock, like, over
That's
and over
because he's
again.
smarter than Mario.
Well, I mean, maybe he didn't start out smarter than Mario, but after Mario kept hitting his head like that.
I'm a smarter now. Okay, so yeah, we had to go all the way back here for a little puzzle to open.
All
and
right.
then it goes,
I have a question about Mario. Does he ever end up with Peach, ever? I mean, Link actually ends up with Zelda once or twice.
well, it depends which past life we're talking about.
But I
Or
don't think
future
Mario.
life.
I don't think Mario has ever ended up with.
The only one that I'm unsure about, like in The Legend of Zelda, where Link ends up with Zelda, is... This gets confusing, okay? In the very first Zelda game on the NES, 1986, Link rescues the Zelda from that world. But in the second game, which is the one closest to being the future Link, now
Yeah.
he ends up, and they still haven't made a game about this, but there is a Zelda that goes to sleep, like Sleeping Beauty, and she is the original Princess Zelda. And she's been
Okay.
sleeping for thousands of years. Link wakes her up and ends up marrying her.
A different.
What
Zelda?
happened to the Zelda that he saved in the first Zelda game? Does she just go to another kingdom and, like, get rid of her name Zelda because he wakes up the true Zelda and marries her? I don't understand.
So instead of your princess is in another castle, it's like your heroes in another world.
And what
Your
about...
heroes in another timeline.
And how would she feel about it, though? Because she probably had her own Link that failed to save her. I mean, how would she feel about being with this Link who, you know, was one of his descendants or something?
Yeah, it's weird. So I'm gonna
This is what I don't understand about Zelda
instead
games.
of being with the person that she loves, she would be with the person that she loves great-great-great-great-great-grandson. It's just pretty weird.
No,
Link
it'd be
is looking
far,
at us weird
far
now.
distant relative. But Link, seriously, think about it. You save Zelda in the very first game, and they make it look like the knight is gonna get with the princess,
He's so
you know?
hurt.
And
Yeah.
then the second game is all about another Zelda that's the original Zelda who's asleep. This whole time, where's the Zelda from the cartoon show that you saved from the first game? What is she doing? Is she just like, you know, I'm gonna give up my kingdom because it turns out there really is an original Zelda sleeping, and it's like, that's where Nintendo's storytelling just kind of went, you know? It's like, what? Yeah.
It almost feels like they're not supposed to be together, but they just kind of like forced it.
You want to know how Miyamoto has explained the Zelda games? None of them are connected. They actually made the split timeline theory during Ocarina of Time, but they've never really made an effort to make it a connection. They're just fun games to play. But you have these people on the internet that waste half their lives trying to come up with some concise storyline, and then Nintendo's like, you know what? That's pretty close to what it probably could be, so we're just gonna, you know, run with that. And
Yeah.
that's what it's gonna be now. And it's like, what? Okay.
I kind of like none of them are connected better because, like, the fact that it's like a whole family of people that keep doing the same thing over and over again, like history just keeps repeating itself, is just weird to me.
But I need somebody to explain to me what happened to the first Zelda. from The Legend of Zelda.
Alone. She became a cat lady.
She had to have.
Wallowing in self-pity because her Link decided to rescue somebody else.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing that's interesting. Impa, the old lady that is Zelda's handmaiden, you know, is still around by the Link Adventure game, which is the second ever Zelda game on the NES. She's still there, and she's telling Link the story about the original Princess Zelda, who's been locked in a tower her whole life.
Whoa, maybe she is a Zelda.
No,
okay,
Impa is not as Impa is an old lady. That's
Okay,
like
alright,
no,
fine.
she has no relevance. No,
Fine, I'm
no,
totally off.
stop confusing me. Okay,
Alright, well...
Impa was the one who found Link in the first Zelda game, right? And she told him, you need to go and save the princess who's been kidnapped by Ganon. So he goes and he collects all the shards of the original Triforce of Wisdom and saves the day, and Zelda's like, my hero, and all that other stuff. Then on his 16th birthday, Impa tells him a story about the Triforce of Courage and what he needs to do to stop Ganon, and also that he needs to wake up the original Princess Zelda. And he's like, then who's the Zelda I saved? And she's like, well, every girl who's born in the royal family is named Zelda because in remembrance to the original Princess Zelda. So
every girl is always named Zelda?
So Link goes through all this trouble in the very first Zelda game, right? And meets with Impa to save his world Zelda. But then the second game, there's no mention of the Zelda from the first game. None whatsoever.
See, because you are like a romantic at heart. You think the guy saves the girl, he should be with that girl that he saves. I agree with that. If the guy saves a princess, he should be with that princess. That is so romantic. What more romantic story can you say of how you met than he rescued you from the evil monsters and he saved your life? That'd be the most romantic story ever to tell your grandkids. I mean, it doesn't always have to be like that. If a jerk saves you, then you shouldn't have to marry him. But Link is a nice guy, like...
Nice guy that hardly ever talks.
It seems like, yeah, he's very quiet. It might annoy Zelda when they
walk quietly, carry a big master sword.
I'm just saying that, yeah, in my thing, the romantic person in me that loves the story of the princess and the knight, I would have Link with the person that he saved. Why would you save someone and then at least she should have the option.
But am I just overthinking this? I mean, to me,
why would he go to all the trouble to save her and then not even say hello or even try to make it work out? Not even see her after that. Like, at least they should go on a date. Like, I don't understand why...
I don't even know what happens to her.
Why would you go to all the trouble of saving somebody and then you don't even meet them, you don't even have any chance with them at all? It's weird.
When you wake up the original Zelda, does that mean that the current Zelda vacates her throne to the original, like,
or she changes
ancestor?
Her name to Bob?
Or she gets to have her own name and, decides, I'm gonna retire and live in the countryside.
Or maybe Link is like, oh, the original person woke up, you're just chopped liver now, person that I saved.
And pretty much. I mean and
that's what it feels like.
In the cartoon show, he was always after Zelda for a kiss, So that was that Zelda from the first game, the one from the cartoon show. Mm-hmm. But what they did is they essentially ignored a lot of elements of Zelda 2, like the sleeping princess, so that they could still have the Zelda that Link went out of his way to save, who becomes a tomboy, and helps in his adventures. They just ignore the storyline of Zelda being asleep because they're like, even we don't understand it. And out of all the Zelda games, I still, to this day, Adventure of Link was really crazy.
Yeah.
Like just...
No, we fell down.
I don't even care anymore. This dungeon is just... The only way that I can keep my sanity is talking about useless things.
Yeah. Alright, continue. I want to hear about the Zelda
because
thing.
we're just going to have to keep backtracking and backtracking
if I don't hear, I have to...
Why can't you grab onto that?
Alright, I have to hear your thought on this. Okay, Kwing, what were you saying? I'm not going to worry about you dying. I'm just going to
I just don't understand it. All the Zelda games have some type of connection now, But it's like, to my knowledge, there's been no Zelda game that either talks about the Imprisoning War from Link to the Past, which is an amazing game that I've always wanted, like the defeat of the Knights of Hyrule and, the champion and the creation of the Dark World and stealing of the Triforce and stuff like that. That would be like one of those really cool Dynasty Warrior type games, and I think Hyrule Warriors was a missed opportunity for that.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, totally.
But all the Zelda games that there's ever been, there's no connection to the sleeping princess. You don't know what Zelda that is. Like
Maybe
there's
all
never
the other Zeldas emanate from her, and if you save her...
she's the first one. If she's the first one, then that would be the Skyloft or Minish Cap Zelda, and she doesn't go to sleep. She gets turned to stone.
Yeah, so...
And she wakes up at the end of the game. So what Zelda is it?
All these prequels are ruining that story then.
Exactly. And I love Zelda. I've played all the Zelda games. I love them.
When you just slap together another new Zelda and then call it a prequel, then you kind of like make the first Zelda story stupid. Then it doesn't make any sense anymore.
Yeah, even old fairy tales, you know, if they make a sequel, which they hardly ever do, but if the story is like really long and it, you know, spans years or whatever, there's concise storytelling. There's points that add up.
That's why I love Zelda, or the story of Zelda and Link. Is it feels like a fairy tale. That is what the story feels like.
Yet we still don't have a movie.
I know, it would be the best movie ever.
Well, not if Michael Bay did it.
I don't know if he could even mess it up. I mean, it's a pretty awesome movie.
You didn't think he could mess up Transformers?
If you made
You're gonna trust him with Thundercats now?
No. If you made... What do you mean? What are you talking about?
He's doing Thundercats.
Are you kidding? You're joking around?
No, I'm not joking. I'm not joking.
I don't understand.
But he's done Transformers, Turtles, and his next project is the Thundercats. I kid you not.
Does this guy hate the 80s? He wants to kill it?
He passed on Voltron because he was like, I'm already doing a robot series, Transformers. I don't think I can continue that success. It's like, good, leave Voltron alone.
Wait, I'm sorry. What success? Wait, I don't understand. Oh, he thought that was success. Okay.
Well, it made a lot of money.
Yeah, it did.
Even though it's got like a
Money
pretty
is
bad...
not the only way of measuring success, though. I would say the quality of the film should have measured the success. Yeah, I don't know what. I mean, I would do that storyline with the Zelda that slept for 1,000 years or something. That would be cool.
Well, but what game would do that? Because no Zelda game, if you think about it, really has a horrible ending. They continue the characters later that, you know, something bad happened, like when they do another game, like, example, Wind Waker, you know, there was a Link that failed to come back and save Hyrule, and Ganon took over it, and then the King of Hyrule had to flood Hyrule. Although they really don't explain how he did that. He talked to the gods or something, and they flooded Hyrule, and all of Hyrule was under the Great Ocean, or the Great Sea, or whatever it was called.
Wow.
Yeah. Wind Waker had a pretty crazy storyline. But then, here's the thing. What timeline does it come from? The one where Link went back to do Majora's Mask and be a kid again? Which is supposedly... No, which is the Hero Shade, the Skeletor Link we make fun of.
Yeah.
He's the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask Link.
Yeah.
Or is it the... Is it the Link that... defeated Ganon, went back in time, and left a vacant Hyrule, and Princess Zelda and whatever her knights had to fight Ganon, and they lost because the hero didn't come back.
Yeah.
So that's when things get crazy, and it's just kind of like, it's like fan fiction. That's what it feels like. The Zelda timeline feels like fan fiction.
I think the first Zelda story should be like really dramatic and have really terrible things happen, and like the love story should be like extremely dramatic and extremely dark and awesome.
There are a couple Zelda games where there's actually a love story.
But I don't know what it would be.
I would really say that I thought Legend of Zelda was.
I thought Wind Waker was kind of.
Zelda 2 was definitely a love story, but he traded up to a 2,000 or 3,000 year old woman from, you know, a 17 or 20-year-old princess. So he's, you know, he's with the original.
That's confusing.
The one that was do not remove from box. You know, she was just in the Snow White thing.
That.
And then you had.
Why would you trade up to somebody you don't even know?
Skyward Sword was the very first Zelda game now because it took place on Skyloft. And, you know, they came down to Hyrule.
What is Link to the Past, though?
Link to the Past is not even called Link to the Past. Yes, he does. Link to the Past is actually, in Japan, it's called Triforce of the Gods. It's not a Link to the Past. The trouble I have with Link to the Past is they made it a prequel in the United States, but in other places, it's not. It's like another story that happens Well, actually, now I
like
don't
that
even
one
know
because
anymore.
she's always like calling him, and he hears of her like in a dream, and everything is like meant to be.
Yeah.
Because I really like that because it's like he thinks he's just hearing a dream, and then it's actually real.
All right. Let me gather
So
my.
it's like Once Upon a Dream from Sleeping Beauty. It's so romantical. I love it.
Okay, so Skyloft is the very first Zelda game. They get together, they populate Hyrule, like the new land that they go to. And the Master Sword is created from Fi, or Fi, or whatever. The Goddess Blade. Yeah.
Love triangle.
And then...
It's a love triangle that I created in my mind.
The very first Link and Zelda get together. The very last Link and Zelda get together, Zelda 2 Adventure of Link. They end up together. A Link to the Past, I believe they do. Ocarina of Time does not. Twilight Princess, I don't know. I don't remember. I
guess we'll find out at the end.
No, you don't. You don't.
You never find out.
No, Nintendo only does the happily ever after. Like, they really made it clear in Skyward Sword. Like, they made it like, they're the only two people on the world. They have to be together. They have to have a family. Otherwise, there would be no Hyrule.
I don't like... For me, like, I would never have him drop the 17-year-old Zelda of his world for a 1,000-year-old Zelda that's sleeping.
I don't know, doesn't it seem like...
that is lame. It was horrible.
Also, isn't it creepy, too? Because he's, like, cheating with her, like, grandmother, in a sense. Like, distant grandma.
I would not do that. I would make the Zelda from his world not exist. If he was supposed to be with the Zelda from 1,000 years ago, then there should be no Zelda from his world. Zelda should be, his Zelda is the Zelda from 1,000 years ago. Then the Zelda from his world.
But then how was she awake she's awake at the end of the first game and like walking around and like, oh, thank you. So then she just falls asleep. See, that doesn't make any sense. They could have done, I think
I would not, it's not fair to have two Zeldas in one Link. There's showing you one Zelda per Link. Like, it just...
It needs to be a rule. One Zelda per Link.
It's weird. Like, it's just awkward and odd. Like, who came up with that storyline?
That's why. This is why.
17-year-old Zelda from his world.
This is why Miyamoto said that there really is no connection between all the games.
If he saves a 1,000-year-old Zelda, it should be like, oh, well, I saved you, but I'm kind of with a 17-year-old Zelda who's more my age and from my universe, and you're like the age of my great grandma times 1,000, so no thank you.
And they had a couple.
That's what I would be like.
The thing is, because there were time periods after the first game, so they actually had time to go on adventures together and stuff like that. And then they just like have a falling out or something because he's actually living in North Castle.
Wait, he knew the Zelda from his world?
Yes!
Okay, yeah, and that was terrible. Then he was with the other one then.
And then she just kind of vanishes, like poof.
Maybe she was a dream. Maybe she
like
was
an
never
astral
real.
projection of.
Yeah, maybe she was never real.
So what was making the dishes?
I don't know.
Magic. Like how were the dishes being washed and the chores being done?
When did she come back and start screaming and throwing pots and pans and be like, "You left me for this 1,000-year-old person"?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? I thought we had something together.
But I really considered if it wasn't for some elements of Skyward Sword that you were doing, it had a really cute ending that they look at each other and they're standing right next to each other looking into a bright future.
Hey, you're the one who wanted to do anime voices for that.
I know,
If
okay.
we didn't do the anime voices, we would have finished the game.
It also had the very realistic spiders, which this game did too, but I've grown a little bit since then.
I do not understand. I would love to finish that game. This guy is the reason we have not finished the game. He doesn't want to finish it. There you go. Everyone knows. All two people that watch the series.
The motion controls haven't really gotten better.
I wanted to finish. I don't care.
I can play.
I will play the game then.
I could play Twilight Princess without any problem because
I will play it.
I have gotten rid of the Wii U pad and I'm using the Pro Controller because that is how the GameCube game was supposed to be played. There's no motion controls. Yep. So it's like, this is actually how Zelda's supposed to be played.
Then I will learn to play the game and we can play it. You actually told me if I could learn to play the game, then we would play it. You said I had to figure out where we're supposed Like, I had to take the time to play through the game, and then we could finish it.
I'm still nervous about you playing Sword Art Online.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to. We might have to just do it as a live stream.
Yeah, that would probably be...
I don't think I can play it. It's going to be too difficult for me.
No, it's not that difficult. It's just kind of boring. I mean, it's... Okay,
Fine,
here's the easiest way to explain Sword Art Online, okay? It's the water dungeon. The whole game.
I know, but...
No, it is the water dungeon, the whole game, with bits and pieces where there's some character dialogue.
Wait,
What
game are we talking about?
Sword Art Online.
Yeah.
The atmospheric music, it's really fun to fly. It's really, you know, but doing that other than a live stream, I would lose my mind because it would be 100 episodes of what we did with the water temple.
And the other day when I was really tired and I was playing Fire Emblem, was actually a pretty exciting game. I was very tired and I was during a battle and like it was so many moves, I actually did fall asleep. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh.
You fell asleep web-slinging in Spider-Man.
Yeah, but when I was web-slinging, I actually continued to web-sling because I fell asleep with my button, with my hand holding the button down, and I was still web-slinging like a few minutes after I fell asleep. I might have been web-slinging 15 minutes into my sleep.
It's very possible. But yeah, in the comments section below, what do you guys think about the Zelda timelines? And do you agree with us? Like, did Nintendo make a huge mistake with the whole, like, sleeping princess? And has there been a Zelda game where they've actually confirmed, whoa, what is the sleeping Zelda? Like, who's her identity?
You know what's hard about the Zelda series is that you already know, like, it's almost like the characters are already written. Like, I wish that they could come up with a Zelda game. Never mind. You don't want to... I'm sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to distract you.
No, it's fine.
I don't want to say this because everyone's going to be mad at me.
Everybody's always mad at you.
I would like a Zelda game in which there is a different hero. It is not Link. It is somebody else.
Whoa! That's shaking things.
That's what I would have done. For the 1,000-year-old Zelda, I would have had somebody else save her.
Would they be like Link?
They would be totally unique. Because every princess has their own prince.
So what you're saying is you would do kind of like a Belmont thing, like a Link lineage.
The story is called Zelda. It's not called Link. The game isn't called Link.
But there is a couple games that have Link in the name.
What I'm saying is so predictable that you know Link is gonna save. Like, Link could be a hero in the story, but he might not end up with Zelda. Like, he could help.
He doesn't really end up with Zelda in some of the games. He just saves her and then goes off.
I think that somebody else should have saved her. Since her Link didn't save her in her world, maybe somebody else should have saved her 1,000 years later.
Yeah, it was future Link.
No.
There you go.
But he already had a girl. His girl was Zelda. He was supposed to be with Zelda. I just think
he was with Zelda 2 and then he went to Zelda 1.
This is how I feel, that things have a way of working out. If it doesn't work out, then something else will happen good in your life. So, like, if Link didn't save her and things didn't work out, something always happens that makes life better. That's how I feel. So 1,000 years later, you think that there's no hope for her and then somebody else randomly saves her.
I actually think that Nintendo could be successful doing a clear storyline, but do what they did with Castlevania and have, like, you know, like kind of like a lineage of Link, you know.
Or you could do a thing where you're...
But they're different people. They have different styles. They have different abilities. You know, just like there were different Belmonts. Some of them could use magic. Some of them like were better with whips and swords than they were with some of the other things.
Yeah. You could even have Link and his friend, and they're both going after Zelda, and maybe Link likes.
And that person turns into the Dark Link.
Maybe it could be like, or like in an anime or a Korean dramedy where you have one guy likes one girl and that one girl likes the other guy, and then they switch. Like, you think that they're for those people, but then they end up switching.
Those are always confusing.
So then, like, maybe Link would end up with his childhood friend instead of Zelda.
Actually, a lot of people say, now I remember, a lot of people say that Link in this universe ends up with Ilya. Like,
yeah, I mean,
the only way that you can prove this is the Hyrule Historia, that big coffee table book we have that is, quote, the history and timeline of the Zelda games up to Skyloft.
Yeah.
Skyward Sword.
Well, I love Link and Zelda together. It's just that it's so predictable that you already know that they're supposed to be together, so it's just like the same thing every time. I would just like once or twice to totally mix it up. And not just he just ends up with Ilia, but it would be like a great love story with Ilia or something. Like,
and Zelda's just kind of like a side character.
Yeah,
like
but then she would end up with like Link's friend or something. Like, that's what I would do. Because I like to tie everything evenly at the end. Unlike some people, Nintendo likes to leave it open sometimes.
So much.
I don't like that. I'm sorry.
No, the distracting
I'm just saying I would like to mix it up once in a while. That's why I didn't like some Disney movies recently that left things open. And it was just like, oh, I have time. It's just like, yeah, you have time, but I needed closure to watch this movie. And you didn't end up with anyone in the movie. I just wasted 2 hours of my life going to the movies to watch this stupid Disney movie where
Give me my 2 hours back.
Are supposed to end up together, exactly. It's like, if you still have time, then you had no business making a movie until you were ready to decide.
Where's my happy ending, Disney? Where's my happy ending?
Exactly. I know, this is like really out there, because you know I love Link and Zelda together, but...
But which one? There's so many Links and Zelda.
Link to the Past.
Link to the Past is my favorite. He was in the most Zelda games.
Link to the Past is Link to me. That is Link.
The only problem is he was kind of like... Isn't it weird that our Robin that we grew up with didn't wear pants? And the Link that we grew up with didn't wear pants?
Link to the Past is Link.
See? This is a place!
Zelda to the past.
Remember I told you at the beginning we have to... Oh. Never mind. I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was wrong!
To me, this is like, oh, this game is cool.
Why?
It's some cool elements to it, but Link to the Past is Zelda to me.
No, that's what I need to do. What? Alright, so bombing it wasn't right, but what do they want me to do? Oh, now I remember. Alright, whatever. Whatever, game. Just give me the stupid boss key. Stupid chest that I couldn't grab onto. You got the big key, finally.
Right. I'll have to write my own fan fiction and then, you know, post it. Or
I actually wrote a Zelda fan fiction years ago starring Link to the Past.
Nice.
Link and Zelda, because I really like that Zelda because she's, you know, just like a normal girl who is a princess.
I know!
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that does it for another Twilight Princess. Link is looking at us kind of meanly. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. God bless and happy gaming.
See ya! And who's your favorite Link and Zelda in the comments below?